Welcome to the Lean Out Your Business podcast, a show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs accelerate business growth and simplify success. I'm your host, Crista Grasso, and I've been working with businesses for more than 2 decades to help them lean out and optimize what's working while eliminating anything that's not adding value. So if you are ready to get more time back in your day, more profit in your business, and to do business differently, growing and scaling on your terms, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. This is part 2 of the top 6 trends and predictions that I'm sharing for 2022. And if you did not catch our last episode, be sure to go back and have a listen where we talk about the first 3 trends, which have to do with social media, organic marketing versus paid advertising, and really deepening that connection with your buyers and shortening the buying cycle. Today, we're going to pick things up with the last 3, and we're going to dive into how to differentiate and really have a bold point of view in your business, how to lean out and do less things but better, and how to focus on customer centricity and value to really improve your customer experience and build those customers for life. So let's go ahead and dive in to our 4th trend. I think this is the year to focus on what makes your business different and to have and put out a bold point of view. One of the things that I talk about inside my Build to Scale Offer Incubator program is the importance of the 3 Ps when you're creating your irresistible offer: your packaging, your pricing, and your positioning. And those actually apply to your entire business. They don't only apply to your offer. But when I think about your business as a whole, how you position yourself and how you position your business and how you position it in the market, that really has a big impact on how much you stand out. And I think with that just steady rise in competition, with so many new people creating businesses and just so much more information and noise and programs out there, you do really want to stand out. You want to have that bold point of view. You want to very clearly be able to articulate what makes you and your business different, and who is your business for? Who is your offer for, and who is it not for? So people can really quickly self-select in or out. So I was having a conversation with one of my business mentors who's built a very successful 8-figure business and did so really quickly. And I had asked him how he, what he attributed his success to. And he said that what he did was he early on established a very bold and clear point of view and consistently got it in front of his target market in every opportunity and every way that he could. What he was looking for were the people who recognized that they had the problem that his business uniquely solved better than anyone else in the market. And by the time a prospect would get to him, by the time they book a sales call, they were already sold. Because of that bold point of view that he put out there, he put so much valuable content out there and hammered home that exact same message over and over again, which was a different message from what his competitors were saying. So by the time people got on the phone with him, it wasn't an if they should work with him. It was a how can we work together and how soon can we get started? It changed the conversation entirely. And so I asked him if he were starting a business today, right now, would he approach it the same way? And he said, absolutely. And he thinks that's even more important than ever right now. And I agree entirely. I think you really want to stand out. You want to embrace what makes you and your business different. There's so many other people out there who are probably serving the same niche and who may be doing something similar. So what's different about you? And how can you boldly share your point of view? And how can you get comfortable putting out there, especially if your point of view is polarizing? If you don't differentiate, you run a really high risk of getting lost in the sea of other noise and businesses that are out there. So what I would do is really reflect on what is your bold point of view and what is it that you stand for? And why is that important to you? Like, what makes that so valuable? And why is it so different from what other people are doing or saying, right? What's wrong with what other people are doing and saying? And why should people care? Like, why should they be aligning to your point of view? How is it going to help them get the results that they're looking for? And how is it going to help them get those results better, faster, cheaper, right? Whatever category you fall into. For me, I help people accelerate business growth and scaling, right? It's when you work with me, you're going to get there a whole lot quicker than if you ever did it on your own. And you're going to get there in a much more simple and sustainable way, right? I am very anti-hustle culture. I believe in working hard and I work really hard. But to me, hustling is that desperate energy of, I'm just going to keep going, 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 going. And it's not a positive energy. It's a working harder for the sake of working harder instead of working smarter and creating boundaries and protecting space and really making sure that you are making space for yourself, your family, your friends, whatever is important to you, so that you have that true, rich, fulfilled life, as opposed to simply a thriving business at the expense of your health and your sanity. And so that for me is my more polarizing point of view. There's a lot of people who think you need to hustle, hustle, hustle. I think hustling is BS. I think it's complete BS. I think you work a whole lot harder in the early days of business when you're trying to figure things out. And then hopefully, as you get into that multi-six figure and you're getting ready to scale to seven figures, you realize it's not sustainable. You can't keep doing it that way. And you invest in systems and team, and you really get very strategic and intentional with what you're doing. You start measuring, right, instead of doing all the things. But I know there's a lot of people who are in that 7, 8+ figure space who are still screaming hustle, 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 right? And I 100% don't agree. And so what is that for you? What are other people out there saying that makes you cringe, right? When I hear people like just, hustle and grind, right? I mean, it makes me cringe. And I just think, why are you telling people this? You're conditioning people to think that they have to give up everything in order to be successful in their business. And they don't, right? And so what are those things that you have that really strong reaction to when you see them, when you hear them? And how can you start to incorporate that more? And so that takes us into the 5th trend in prediction, which is to lean out and do less things, but do those things better. So less but better and leaning out. This is not the year to be a dabbler or to spread yourself too thin across way too many different things. This is the year to be really strategic, to be really intentional with where you are investing your time, your money, and your energy. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, I'm sure you know what leaning out is, but just in case you don't, leaning out is really where you're doubling down on those things that add the most value to your clients and the most profit to your business, and that ultimately are in alignment with that next level vision that you have for your business, and eliminating everything else. Because all that everything else, that's all waste. That's all noise. That's all unnecessary complexity. That's bright, shiny objects. That's stuff that pulls your focus away from the things that are actually going to make a difference in your business. And I just think going into this year, there is absolutely no room for waste. There is no room for unnecessary complexity. And I think this will be one of the trends and predictions every single year, because I don't ever see a point in time where it is okay to waste your time, money, and energy on things that don't matter. There are too many amazing things that you can be doing that are both fulfilling, impactful, and profitable, that is where you should be focusing your efforts and doubling down on. And you should be throwing out all of the shoulds and musts and all of the things that you feel and get pressured to do that ultimately are not in alignment or are not going to add value or profit. So you want to go all in on the fewest number of things possible and do less things, but do less things better. And so if we go back to our social media example, we talked about this a little bit, where starting with that one channel where your target market hangs out is the best thing that you can do, instead of trying to be on all the channels and barely scratching the surface. So for you, maybe it's LinkedIn. Maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's YouTube, whatever that channel is for you. If you really look at that, ask yourself, between you and your team and whoever it is that manages or contributes to your social media and your content marketing, do you truly understand all of the features and functionality that tool has available to you? And have you taken the time to experiment and see which of those things actually generate the best results? like not only get you the broadest reach, like I know a lot of people talk about reels and it got 3,000 views. Awesome. That's great. Did a single person ever become a paying client, right? For some people, the answer is yes, absolutely. Reels end up being a really great lead gen strategy for them on Instagram, and it does actually convert to paying clients. For a lot of people, it's honestly purely a vanity metric. They feel good that they got a whole bunch of views from some random people who saw their reel. And at the end of the day, they saw nothing beyond views and follows, but absolutely nobody converted into a paying client, right? So I think it really is worth it to invest the time and the focus in what are all the features and functions that are available? Are you using them? Do you want to use them, right? Not every feature and function is going to be a right fit for you or for your customer, but you should understand what they are. You should understand what that platform is emphasizing and focusing on. Like if you are not leveraging video, some platforms just simply don't make much sense. So really look at what would it look like if you went all in on that one channel, and what would it look like to experiment to ultimately figure out what are the things that give you the best results and actual conversions to paying clients. People really barely scratch the surface on the things that they do and the tools that they leverage. And as a result, they leave massive amounts of money on the table. So you're better off mastering that one social media channel before you add more. Now, I'm not saying you should only be on one channel. You absolutely can be in multiple places. I know you'll hear things like having that omnipresence a lot. And so what I say is start with the one channel. Really master that, go all in on that one channel, and then work smarter, not harder by leveraging content repurposing, right? Have a strategy to repurpose your content onto some of those other channels. When you get to the point that you can build up a team big enough that you can actually go all in on multiple channels, by all means do so. But if you have a fairly small team, there's only so much that you can do, and you'll get the best results by really focusing in on that one channel and then repurposing in a strategic way on the others. And so we looked at social media as an example here, but the reality is this applies to all facets in your business. So let's look at your offers as an example. How many offers do you realistically have in your business, and how many different things are you promoting, launching, marketing, communicating about, pitching, right? All of the things. How many offers do you have? And then think about what if you put all of your focus, at least for the first part of this year, into one scalable signature offer. This is what I do with people inside my Build to Scale offer incubator. But if you put laser focus effort into one scalable signature offer, and you spend your time optimizing the end-to-end sales and marketing funnel for that offer, imagine the impact that you would have on your results. In order for an offer to sell really effectively, for every single offer that you have in your business, there is an end-to-end sales and marketing funnel. If you really understand your customer journey and you understand that layered on top of the sales and marketing lifecycle or funnel, and you optimize each stage of that journey, you are going to have absolutely incredible results. It is one of the simplest ways to increase your revenue and to get higher conversions. But that is an outrageous amount of work if you are doing that across 10 different offers. And I would say you realistically can't do it very well spread across 10 different offers. You want to focus on one, fully optimize that. And then from there, once you've nailed your scalable signature offer, you can go on and build out or focus on your scalable signature offer suite and look at what is that next offer that you want to go all in on and really optimize that end-to-end sales and marketing funnel and look at the customer journey for. So something to ask yourself is, what are those things that are going to make the biggest impact on your customers? What's going to drive the most profit for the business, and what's ultimately going to position you for that next level of business growth and success? Those are the things that you're going to want to go all in on. And everything else is what you should be looking at leaning out so that you can do less things but better. The sixth and final trend and prediction that I'm going to share for 2022 is focusing on customer centricity. And this is another one that was part of my 2021 predictions. And again, probably will be included every single year because your customer is the heart of your business. Without your customer, you don't have a business. So when I look at 2022, I think really focusing on your customer experience experience, that end-to-end customer experience, customer retention, and having a really solid referral strategy are going to be critical in where it's at. If you think about these past couple of years between the pandemic and just so much of what's been going on in the world, your customers' lives have probably changed pretty dramatically. If you serve other businesses, their businesses may have changed pretty dramatically. And so the question to ask yourself is, when you look at your offers, when you look at your marketing efforts, when you look at that end-to-end client experience, has that all evolved to meet your customers where they're at now, or for what they're going to need from you next, whether that be for this year or going into the future? I hear a lot of people saying, I'm just not getting the results that I used to get. And in a lot of cases, you might not be getting the results that you used to get because you're doing the same things that you used to do, and your customers have evolved, and your offers and your marketing and your client experience needs to evolve along with them. And so you really want to have your customer at the center of all of the decisions that you make in your business. And as you're looking at optimizing things and as you're looking at leaning things out, you want to be thinking about customer centricity. For your current clients, you want to be thinking about how you retain them and continue to provide value so that you have that really solid customer lifetime value. And so I think one of the most important things that you can do, and something that's really going to help you set yourself and your business apart, because so many people just, again, barely scratch the surface on this, but I think you want to deeply understand your customer and their customer journey. You want to deeply understand their pain points and their desires and their motivations and their needs. When you really truly understand that customer journey and deeply understand where your customers are at, not only today, but also where your customers of the future are going to be, what are they going to need from you? You really want to be taking all of that into consideration. And finally, you also want to recognize where you can better align your current offers and your communication with your customers and where they are now. Again, it goes back to those 3 Ps that I go into with people in Build to Scale, which is packaging, pricing, and positioning. And really looking at, do you have your offer packaged, priced, and positioned the right way for what people need right now? And if you have a solid offer that's sold really well in the past, but maybe you're not getting the same results right now, a lot of times it's the positioning. Sometimes it's the packaging and pricing, but most often it's the positioning. And so you really do want to look at that. And again, just put your customer at the center of your business. So there is so much more that I could share, but I wanted to boil this down to the top 6. And so these are the things that I think are ultimately going to have a really big impact on your success in this new year. I think if you're able to really combine customer centricity with connection, really carve out what makes you different in that bold point of view that you have, and run your business lean and get rid of all of the waste and the noise and complexity and things that just simply aren't contributing to your client's experience or to your business results, that is where you are going to have massive success in this new year as well as years ahead. So to recap the top 6 trends and predictions for small business success for 2022, the first is making a decision on how you want to leverage social media in this new year, and either going all in on your top platform or going all out and deciding that you are not going to be leveraging social media, or you are going to reimagine the channels that you're using. Number 2 is increasing your organic marketing and reimagining paid advertising. Number 3 is deepening that connection with your prospects and your clients and shortening the buying cycle. Number 4 is differentiating and putting out into the world that bold point of view. Number 5 is leaning out and doing less things but better. And number 6 is focusing on customer centricity and providing maximum value for your clients. So I would love to hear if you have any other trends and predictions that you would like to share as well. And I wish you so much success in this new year. I will be back again with you next week. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. I hope you got a lot of value and actionable insights from today's show, and would love if you take a moment to leave us a review. If you have any questions on today's episode or on how to lean out your business, join us over in our private Facebook community where every week we do live training and Q&A, and I'd love to have you be part of the conversation. Head to leanoutmethod.com/group to join us. And before you go, be sure to subscribe to the show so you're the first to know when we release a new episode. We'll see you next week.